Hey y'all, Andy here with Mossy Creek, and today I'm going to be tying a quill body jig nymph. This is a confidence pattern of mine. I love fishing this, whether in the mountain streams or tailwaters or on the spring creeks. We're going to tie this one in a size 12. I do fish it anywhere from 12 down to an 18, but the 12 is really great to fish when you've got high water and you're wanting to use this as your point fly. I tend to fish a lot of Euro style rigs, so putting this on there with the oversized bead really helps it get down into the strike zone. But let's get into it. This is one of my favorite flies. I'm excited to share it with you guys. All right, folks, here is the jig body quill nymph. Let's get into it. So in the vise today, I'm going to be tying a size 12 jig hook. I'm using the Fulling Mill Jig Force and Black Nickel. Love these because I get them in a 50 pack and I tie tons of these. And then we're going to be using a slotted tungsten bead, also from Fulling Mill, in a 3.2 millimeter. You can upsize that bead if you want a little extra weight on this, but I find the 3.2 is a nice match with this size 12 hook. And for thread, we're going to be using UTC 70 denier in rusty brown. We'll get that thread started right here behind the bead. Just put a couple wraps on there, trim off our excess. And I'm going to come up, hold my bead in place, make a couple good wraps just to lock that bead in there so I won't have to worry about it sliding around. Once we've got that in there, we'll start moving our thread back and we can move on to our tail. I'm going to be using Coq de Leon feathers today. I'm going to be tying this one in a natural color, but if you wanted to, you could use say UV. Coq de Leon's available in a bunch of different colors. That way you can get some really cool different colors on your fly. So right here I'm going to measure about 1 hook's length for the tail, transfer that measurement back, and I'll tie this in at a little bit of an angle, and you'll see my thread is going to rotate that material right on top of the hook here. And we'll wrap back just to about where the barb would be. We really want to try and keep our wraps sparse on this fly. We're trying to keep a really thin body. And so we really don't want to build it up too much with our thread. Next thing we're going to do for the body material is use this stripped peacock eye. This is in red quill. I tie it in essentially every color that you see there. You can make some really cool variations. But we'll take that and we'll tie that in right behind the tail. Make a couple wraps there. Once we get it in, come in here, trim off the excess. Use my thread to kind of help me clean that up as I come forward. Again, try to keep your body pretty slim here. Bring your thread up to the bead and you can leave it there. Grab hold of our quill here with our hackle pliers, and we're just going to make touching wraps all the way up the body. This is going to give a really nice segmented look to our fly. It looks really natural. Be careful when you're wrapping this. The material is a little bit easy to break, but if you're careful, you'll be rewarded with a really nice looking fly, really nice segmentation on it. And once we get up here to the top, go ahead and tie that off, make a couple of wraps, and then you can just pull away that quill. And now to increase the durability of this fly, I'm going to use Loon UV Clear Fly Finish. Today I'm using this thin color, size, but it's also available in what's called Flow. That's going to be the thinnest of all the UV fly finishes from Loon. And they also have Thick, which is really thick. You're not going to use that a whole lot for your nymph tying, but you would more for, say, streamers or putting a head on a fly with UV glue. We'll come in here with our bodkin, spread this UV glue out, just get that nice and covered around the body. Come in here and hit that with our UV light all the way around. Just takes a quick second. Once it's nice and hardened, we'll come in here with our thread. We're going to tie in a little collar here of Sinuous Fusion Dub in tobacco. We're not going to use a whole lot here. I'm going to keep it real sparse. Go ahead and dub that on. You could use a dubbing wax or something here if you wanted to, but I find this stuff dubs on pretty easily. Make a couple wraps of that up here right behind the bead. And next thing we're going to do here is make a little collar out of CDC. I'm going to be using this Hairline material clamp. These are pretty awesome. Really easy way to make a nice soft hackle collar. And we're also going to be using the CDC in Natural Dun color. This material clamp is really easy to use. All you need to do is come and grab your feather close to the stem, grab your scissors, cut right up along the stem. The beauty of this is that you're going to have that whole second half of that feather to use again. And now you're ready to go and place that into your dubbing loop. So to split my thread, I like to take my bodkin and just run it down the thread. Helps to get it nice and flat. Then we'll come in here and just split it right down the middle. Hold it open with my fingers there. I'll take my material clamp and slide that CDC in between the thread, grab hold of it, and we'll go ahead and spin our bobbin counterclockwise, get that stuff locked in there. We'll go ahead and wrap that on. I'm going to take my fingers and hold back that CDC as we go. Once we get to that point, we're going to take our Fusion Dub and put a little bit more on in front of it. This is going to help that CDC lay back just a little bit and give a nice buggy look. Also help us have a nice clean head on this fly. So we'll just put that up right here above the CDC. Take a couple wraps to lock everything in place. If you've got any extra long feathers in here, I like to come in and just trim those up a little bit. Make sure everything looks good. And then we can come throw a 3 or 4 turn whip finish into it. Make sure that's nicely seated. Cut our thread, and there you go. The Jigged Quill Body Nymph. Thanks.